So good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you. If you would like to come to lying on your backs, please. Lying on your backs with your knees bent, the soles of your feet standing on the floor. And taking a few moments to settle down through the back of your body. Maybe you have bare feet and you can feel the connection through the soles of your feet and the floor. And feeling through the back of your pelvis. And the back of your ribs and shoulders. And the back of your head. And are you able to really drop into all of these points of contact right now? So you can really feel into this stability and a heaviness in your body as it surrenders to that stability. And taking a few breaths simply to notice the sensation of breathing. We've got a very, very gentle class today. Not a repeat of last week's Monday class, but a very gentle class to allow us to simply breathe and feel the body this morning. Can you take your hands over your belly? Maybe a little bit up towards the ribs so you can feel the lower ribs, fingers pointing inwards. And for a few breaths, without straining or pushing, simply feeling the breath drawing down into this lower section of the torso. So you may feel your belly rise and fall underneath your hands. So you draw your diaphragm down on the inhale and it releases up on the exhale. And as you continue to breathe like this with the attention right down at the bottom, can you also feel into the sides and the back of this lower section of your ribs and torso? So there's a gentle expansion with every in-breath out in all directions. And then a little release, a little surrender back in again from all directions. So we're encouraging a fuller abdominal breath, filling the bottom section of the lungs. And then sliding your hands up so that they can press into the sides of your ribs. I like to take the back of my fingers into the side of the ribs. That's just more comfortable. You choose what's right for you. And then as you breathe, beginning to really feel into this middle section. Feel out through the front, maybe this little pushing against your fingers. And then out through the back of the center of your rib cage. So you could visualize this as your heart space expanding in all directions with each breath in. And then drawing back in, retreating on every breath out. So never straining the breath, but simply feeling into this pulse of every breath in, followed by every breath out. It's almost as if you can feel the breath feeling into every tiny alveoli, every tiny little air sac in your lungs, in contact with the capillaries that allow the oxygen to transport all around the body and then bring the carbon dioxide back again for you to breathe out. And you can slide your fingers up to your collarbones, just relaxing the elbows down to the floor. Coming to a sense of the very top of your lungs now, around the collarbones, the armpits, the shoulders. And taking a few breaths, find your own rhythm. And as you top up your lungs, feeling to the front, the sides and the back. And then when you're ready, you can either drop your hands down by your sides or just take your hands softly over your lower belly now. And if you're able to, without any particular effort, connecting those three sections together so that you take a fuller, deeper breath from the bottom to the middle to the top, like filling a balloon. And then emptying the balloon from the top down. Maybe feeling the whole body breathing as you slide your feet away. And then with a sense of the fullness and the ease of the breath, take a full breath in. And as you exhale, begin to take your head very gently to the left. And every time you're ready to breathe in, come to the front. And breathing out, rolling your head to the right, really heavy head. Take a few of these head rolls and neck rolls in your own time, very slow, quite methodical and precise. Feeling the weight of your whole body. And then resting your head neutral. And interlacing your hands behind your head. That's really important here that there's no strain in the neck at all. We're just going to gently use the hands to lift the head ever so slightly so the weight of your head pours into your hands. So as you inhale, gently lift your head, maybe your elbows come in towards each other. And pause here. And then exhale, release. Head super heavy. Let's do a few like that. Inhale. Using your hands to draw your head up, elbows come together. Exhale, come down. Can you take 3 more? Maybe on your last one, pausing for a few breaths, just cradling your head in your hands and feeling into the back of your neck and the connection through to the trapezius muscle at the top of your shoulders and back. Breathe. One more breath in, and then exhaling, gently release your head. And take your arms down by your sides, simply feeling the neck, the jaw and the face, back of the head. And then bending up each knee to stand your feet on the floor. And you may want to take your hands to your hips for this, but I think all of you are used to this movement. As you breathe in, you're going to tilt your pelvis a little forwards to create a space in the lower back and the floor. And as you breathe out, you tilt the pelvis back, pressing and flattening the lower back on the floor. And keep going with this very gentle pelvic tilting. And what I'd like you to notice as you continue is that although the pelvis is isolated here in initiating the movement, and you've got a focus on your lower back and your abdominal muscles, that if your body is loose and relaxed, you'll feel a ripple all the way up the body. You can feel your ribs, the back of your head moving, your shoulders. Maybe as you exhale, you can feel your feet pressing a little bit more into the floor. And you could continue like this a while. This is brilliant for the lower back. Or it may be that at the end of an exhalation, you press into your feet. And then as you breathe in, begin to lift. And take as many breaths as you like to lift your spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. And then when you're ready, as many breaths as you like to release the spine down like a hammock, vertebrae by vertebrae, very soothing. You settle down. And as you breathe in, you tilt forwards again, so you're really opening the belly here. You breathe out, you tilt back, and then you begin a few breaths. As you lift, peeling the spine up bone by bone. And I'll leave you a few breaths to continue this movement. You can pause at any stage that you like, feeling the body lifted and hanging maybe. Some of you may like to include the arms coming over your head as you peel the body up, trying to synchronize the movement of your arms with the lift. And then synchronize the movement of the arms with the gradual release back down. Can you become completely absorbed in the breath and the simplicity of the movement? Making the one that you're on your last one, so that as you come down to rest. Sliding your hands up your thighs to bring your knees in towards you. And you can inhale and straighten your arms, and exhale, pull your knees in towards you. And inhale, straighten your arms. And exhale, pull in towards you. Taking 2 or 3 more of these gentle movements with the legs, soothing out the lower back. And then circling the knees to massage over the lower back and sacrum. And then taking those circles in the opposite direction. And dropping your feet back down again. So we're going to do a moving bridge, but we're going to do a moving bridge with our hands behind our head. So for the first one, I'd like you just to observe me because we haven't done this before. Feel the weight in your hands, your head just pressing to the floor. And begin to breathe in and tilt the pelvis forwards just like you've been doing, but you're watching me. And breathe out, flatten and push up. So it's the movement of the head is going to be as you come down again. As you come down, lift your head gently. Remember, no strain as your spine comes down to the floor. You get a little bit more of a curvature in the upper spine here. And then you release the head down as you tilt the pelvis forwards. Exhale, flatten and come up into your back bend. When you're up in your back bend, begin to lift your head, elbows coming in towards each other. And then bring yourself down bone by bone. Join in whenever you're ready. So you only lift once you're in the back bend. And then bone by bone you come down, and notice how there might be a little bit more of a lift of the upper spine as you look in between your legs. Let's do 2 more. It's lovely for tension in the neck and the upper back, I find. But really not straining here. And then when you're ready, releasing your head very gently down, sliding your fingers away. Arms by your sides. And take the soles of your feet together, the knees out to the side. Maybe take your arms out in cactus arms and take a few breaths here to feel the opening in your thighs, the opening in the pelvis. Breathe into the belly. And we're going to continue with a moving bridge. So we're giving our spine a lot of love, but we're going to do it in this butterfly position. So bring your palms down to the floor beside you. And you need to really press into the outer edges of your feet here into the floor. So as you breathe in, press into your feet, lift your arms and lift your pelvis and side waist up as much as you can. Pause here and then breathe out. Slowly, rhythmically come down. And continue for a few in your own time. Pausing at any stage that you want to. Really pressing your feet together. And taking one more, just taking one more. And feeling the body as you rest down. And using your hands to bring your legs together. But walk your feet out so they're mat distance apart and your knees knock in together. And take a few breaths, really soft in the belly here. Feeling everything. Softening the whole body. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to that very gentle twisting movement that I used to do a lot of in these classes and I've just forgotten. So I'm starting resting on the left side of my body. And I want everything to be right angles. So your thighs coming out, your arms coming out. And it might be really nice to have a rolled up blanket under your head here. In fact, I'm going to do that. And your palms are touching. I'm going to be really slow. We're not trying to really get anywhere in this class today. And all I want you to do to begin with is begin to roll that right shoulder forwards and then roll it back a few times. You're just feeling into that right shoulder, allowing it to flop forwards and then drawing it back. And it's fine if your head rocks as well, and if your upper hand, your right hand, moves over the left hand. And then after a few of these just shoulder movements, begin to slide the right fingers a little bit further up the arm, maybe as far as the wrist, and then slide back again, maybe beyond the left hand. We're going to take a few moments to continue opening. Each time you draw back, you come a little bit further up the left arm with your fingertips, but not far. You're rolling over your forehead and then peeling back, moving your head. And don't worry what happens with your hips and your legs. They might stay still, they might move, absolutely fine. And just keep going. You're gradually opening, but you could imagine you're going to take about half an hour, which we haven't got, to open into a full twist. The point is there's no hurry. You imagine this forest of kelp in a very slow current, moving with the sunlight in the water. And you just breathe naturally as you go. Gradually looking over your right shoulder, maybe your fingers are now around the left armpit. As loose as you can be. Maybe you're gradually bringing your fingers into your chest, over to the right shoulder. Taking your time until eventually you will open all the way out. You might like to stay open for a few breaths, inviting complete release into that right shoulder. And breathe here. Observing where you're holding tension. Just observing where the tension might be, and by doing this, maybe you feel a little micro release. And if you'd like to bring your head back to neutral, and lift the right knee to take the foot to the floor, the left knee, so you flatten out your back. And just for a moment, slide the feet away to feel the body, to feel the connection with the floor. Until you're ready to take that kelpie twist onto the other side. So I'm now lying on the right side of the body, lining up arms and legs as right angles. And then we just begin with the shoulder first, just dropping the left shoulder forwards and rocking it back a tiny bit. Maybe rocking the head as you go. And you know what to do, so I'm not going to talk you through this. I'm going to allow you to slowly open into your twist, knowing that we have a long time to do it. Really floppy and heavy in the body. Imagining you're in the warm water currents. Slowly moving, slowly dancing in the sunlight. Maybe you're gradually beginning to open more now towards the left. Remember your legs and your hips can open and move just as feels right to you. And when you do eventually open, lying for a while, eyes looking towards the left if that's comfortable. Inviting heaviness and softness into the left shoulder. And breathe. And soften in the jaw and behind your eyes. And when you're ready to come out, turning your head to neutral, lifting the left knee, placing the foot down, lifting the right knee. And sliding your feet away and just feeling the whole body now, the whole body. And when you're ready, we're going to meet in an all fours position. Just for a moment, let's come into a wide knee child's pose to open out the hips a little again. So take your knees as wide apart as possible, your big toes together. So you really feel the opening in the thighs, the opening in the hips as you sit back on your heels. And then if you can, you slide your hands away. If you need to, you bring your hands under your forehead. And take a few breaths here. And then gently coming back up to an all fours position. And the spinal tilting, the pelvic tilting we did on our back earlier in the class, we'll now bring into a cat-cow movement. Very simple. So there's no big surprises today. All I would say is that use the breath to move you. So you breathe in and then follow the breath in with the tilt of the pelvis, the opening of the chest. And you begin the breath out before you then move back again. Following the breath out with a scooping up. And take a few like this in your own time, totally absorbed in the breath and the movement. And then next time you exhale and you scoop up, draw back to child again. And take a breath in and out here. And you're absolutely welcome to stay in your extended child, or you might like to move back up to all fours. Inhale as you dip. Exhale, scoop, and back to child. Continuing in your own time, completely absorbed here in every cell and every breath. And then if you'd like to, curling your toes under next time you come up. And slowly making your way into a downward dog. Keep your knees bent, your heels held high, and press into your hands to power up your arms. And breathe here, bending into your knees, maybe beginning to straighten your legs. Always coming down to child's pose if it gets too much for you. And I'm going to leave you for a few breaths to simply feel into your dog, maybe resting in child and coming back up again. Can you feel into this pose with the whole body? The whole body. And then looking in between your hands, walk your hands and your feet in towards each other. So you end up in a very dangling forward fold, knees are bent. Lovely full breaths as you really pour yourself out of the pelvis. And we're going to take a few rolling forward folds and then back up to standing. So begin to sink your hips a little, chin into your chest, and then coming up bone by bone, feeling each vertebrae stack upon the next. No hurry, and then eventually your shoulders roll back. And your head perches, and take a breath here to feel the body. And we just continue like that, beginning to roll and roll the shoulders around. In your own time. At some point when you're up at the top, you might like to roll down over the left side of the body. Bone by bone, dropping. You might like to come over the right side of the body. We can finish off with just one down the front. And when you've rolled up and out of your forward fold, taking a moment, maybe eyes closed here, to simply feel the body. And then can you make sure that your feet are parallel and about hip distance apart, and interlace your hands on top of your head, turning the backs of your hands to your head. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, push your hands up towards the ceiling. And take a breath in here, and then exhale, look over to the right. You can lift your left heel off the floor. And bend into that left knee. Take a few breaths here, very gentle twist. And then come back to the front. Take another inhale. And as you twist to the left, bend into that right knee, lift the right heel. And you can go from side to side in your own time. Take your feet wider apart if you need to, if you feel there's a balance issue. Keep pushing out through the hands so you get a nice stretch in the side body as well as a gentle spinal twist. And then next time you come to the front, inhale and look up. Exhale, arms down around the sides of the body. Take a moment, maybe rolling, feeling into the body. And then we'll interlace our hands again, back of the hands to the head. But this time, as you breathe in and push up, you lift your heels off the floor. Pausing here, and then slowly, slowly lower your heels, hands to the head. So we'll take a few. Be kind with yourself. Find a soft point, a point to softly connect your eyes, your drishti. On one of them you might like to stay up. Breathing. Eyes, face soft. And then as you come down this time, release your arms down by the sides of the body. Take a moment to feel. Wonderful. And then taking your feet about 1 meter apart, still parallel. And lifting the left arm up, inhale. And exhale, just find your way over to the right. Your right hand slides down the leg. Just so that you begin to enrich sensation on the left side of the body, but with no strain here. And then coming up, inhale. And we'll come down the same way again. We'll do that one more time, inhale. And exhale, come down the same way. And take a few breaths into the left side of the body. Both legs are strong and firm. And then coming up. And lower the left arm down. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body here. And then lift up the right arm, inhale. Exhale, slide down to the left. Don't come too far. Take a few breaths. And inhale, come up. And exhale, come down again. And then last time, inhale, come up. And exhale. Take a few breaths. And then inhale, come up. And release your arm down by your sides. Feel the body. Let's circle a moment in the hips before we do a full triangle here. Just releasing into the hips. Circling in one direction. Do you know what? I feel like teaching for another hour. I'm just loving this. But I know I can't, so don't worry. And then reversing the direction of the circles. And we'll just have a shot at a full triangle. So if you'd like to maybe take your feet slightly wider apart, not much, and keep the left foot straight, but now take the right foot out. And make sure you're about aligned heel to heel if that works for your body. And then take your arms out in a T shape. Both legs are strong. And then begin, in fact, you could keep the left hand to the hip if you like, and begin to reach over to the right. So we've already opened out the left side of the body. And then you hinge the right hand down. But what I'd like you to do now is just drop the left shoulder and arm. Drop it really floppy, like when we were in that twist. And then as you breathe in, you peel open. And as you breathe out, you close. We'll just do that one more time, or you can do it 2 more times if you like. Until you open into your fullest Utthita Trikonasana that works for you. And if you're a bit wobbly, look down. If you're able to, look up and spin the chest a bit more and breathe. So we're really looking for a radiance in the chest. It's a great pose to do in the morning, brightening up the whole system. Take 3 full breaths in and out. And on your final breath out, look down at the right foot. Bring your left hand to your hip. Bend into that front knee and gently bring yourself up. And do you notice a shift in the way your body feels, in your mood? You don't have to, I find that triangle in the morning, it's a bit of a lift. And then we'll do the same with the left foot out, right foot straight or in slightly. Legs are strong, and then breathing in, you reach to the left. You can pull this left hip back to help you as far as you can go, and then drop the hand and drop the right arm down, shoulder down, floppy. And then breathing in, peel open. And breathe out, close. And breathe in, peel open. And breathe out, close. And then we open up for a final few breaths, expanding out from the heart in all directions. One more breath in, and then look down, hand to your hip, bend the knee, and gently come up. And we'll just take a very simple forward fold here. So just keeping your feet as wide apart as they are, or maybe taking them a bit longer. And all I'd like you to do, with your knees bent a little, is begin to stick your bottom out and release forwards. That's all we're going to do. And straighten your legs if you want. 5 deep breaths. If you don't like to have your head beneath your heart, you can lift your head. You're still in a forward fold. And then we're going to come down to the mat, and the nicest way here is just to walk yourself around into a downward dog. So we're just transitioning. You can take your time, you might like to take longer. Come back down into a wide-kneed child's pose. And you might like to stay in your child's pose for a bit longer. I personally am running out of time. And then you come to lying on your back. Make sure you're warm enough. And I'm going to leave you hoping that you will rest. And you'll allow yourself to drop your attention right into the body again. And it is very possible that after that practice that the points at which your body connects with the floor feel a bit different now. Maybe you feel you're lying a bit different. Don't worry if you don't notice anything. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. The next gentle yoga class is tomorrow at midday, so I hope some of you will come to that. Have a lovely day, everybody. Lots of love.